For our last section in this chapter of probability and statistics, we're going to focus on diagramming data. There are quite a few definitions that we need to cover. The first is a quartile. Think of quarter or 1/4. A quartile is any of three values that divide the data into, here's the key, 4 equal groups. So we're dividing the data into 4 equal groups. We're going to look at 3 types of quartiles. The first is a lower quartile. The lower quartile is the median of the lower half of data. So if I have 100 numbers that I'm going to look at, the lower quartile is going to look at the first 50 numbers. The first 50, the first half, the lower half. The middle quartile is going to be the median for all of the numbers, of all of the data. Then we have an upper quartile, and this is the median for the upper half. So if I have 100 numbers, the last half up to 100, so 51 to 100 would be the upper quartile that I'm going to be looking for. So when I look at the upper quartile, I'm going to be taking 51 to 100, finding the median of those numbers. Then we have a diagram, a type of chart that is called a box and whisper diagram. This summarizes the data on a number line with a box in the middle and lines that look like whiskers on the side, on each side. So we'll take a look at a picture of that. Okay, so here's your box, okay, which is in the middle, and then you have your lines coming out. So the start of the box shows the lower quartile, the middle dot showing the middle quartile or median of everything, and then we have the upper quartile number. Remember, the lower quartile is a median of the first half, while the upper quartile is a median of the second half numbers. So we have a box and then whiskers. Our last diagram is called a stem and leaf diagram. A stem and leaf diagram uses digits of data, and each data value is broken into parts which look like a stem from a leaf. And basically you have a number, and then you have, okay, how much will come off of that number, identify the stem and the leaf. So let's try the box and whisker diagram. If we have the students, these are the heights of the students in inches. We're going to go ahead and look at the median of everybody. So the median for all of the numbers, I'm going to look at the middle numbers, and then I'm going to divide that by 2. Okay, find the average. And why did I get 60 and 64? That's because we have a total of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 numbers. Half of that is 6. 60 and 64 in the middle, so I can make since there's not an actual middle number, if let's say 62 is in the middle of 60 and 64, I could just easily take 62, but because 60 and 64 are both the middle numbers, I'm going to add those together and then divide by 2, and that gives me 62. Okay, so that's my median of all the numbers. Now let's focus on the lower and upper quartile. For the lower quartile, I'm going to look at the first half, and that's 50 to 60. And what's the middle numbers between 51 and 60? That's going to be 56 and 57. And I divide by 2 to give me 56.5. That's the median of the lower quartile. Then now let's focus on the upper quartile, which will be 64 to 71. Let's find the median for that. So if I look at that, 64 and 71, 64 and 70, 65 and 65. So basically 65 is repeated twice, so 65 is my middle number. And if I added those two up and divide by 2, I'd still get 65. So I'm just looking for a median. So I need to know that term, the definition of the lower, upper, and total. Now when I make a box and whisker diagram, I'm going to start with 51, that's my first number, and then I can draw a line and make 71, so that's all my numbers. Then what I'm going to do is just write down my middle number, my median, 62, and then I'm going to write my lower quartile, and then I'm going to write my upper quartile on the line, and then I just kind of make a box to connect it. So I kind of just trap 56.5, 62, and 65 as my three medians. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Let's try and do this on your own. We've got lots of numbers here. Go ahead, let's make a box and whisker diagram for these numbers. Okay, go ahead and pause this. Okay, so what we have here, we have these numbers. I put them in order, and I actually divided them into first half and second half. Okay, so I went ahead and put all these numbers in order. So that's the first thing that you need to do, is put all those numbers in ascending order. So you have to find them. So that took a little bit of time. So I went ahead and I put them in order. And then I found the median, the middle. Then I need to figure out which ones are going to be the first half, which ones are going to be the second half numbers. So the middle is going to be, okay, 62 and 64. So you can see that's green. 62 and 64 is a green color. That's going to be my middle. Those are my two middle numbers. I'm going to divide that by 2, and I'm going to get 63. That's my total median. Now, 3 to 58, that is my first half. Now I want to go ahead and find my middle number for the first half, and that's also marked in green, so that's going to be 23. And then now the upper quartile, I'm going to find what is the middle number of 64 to 254. And that's going to be 88. Okay, so finding my middle number. Okay, then when I make my box and whisker diagram, we put 3, we put 254. Okay, 63 is my median, that goes in the middle. 23 and 88. 23 my lower quartile, 88 my upper, and I make my box. So hopefully that made sense. Okay, so we do want to put them in order first, ascending order, find the median of all the numbers, then find the median of the lower half, and then find the median of the upper half. Now let's focus on the stem and leaf diagram. In the same way I have these numbers, I'm going to organize them in this little stem and then branching off as a leaf. Now, the diagram that is here is the actual stem and leaf diagram. Now, it wasn't on the previous page, so this hopefully will clarify what I was talking about. Here we have the stem, we have the 5, 6, and 7. So really, when I'm looking at all these numbers, the tens place, I'm only dealing with 5s, 6s, and 7s. That's going to be the stem part of the diagram. Then I'm going to put down all the ones that would be the ones place. So 59, 5 and 9, 5 and 6, 5 and 8. So 5 and 8 was 58. So I'm going to write down even if they're repeated. So that's going to be my stem and leaf diagram. Now, first, I want to identify the stems. Okay, we did that. That's going to be the tens place. Then I identify all the leaves for each stem, and that's the ones place. Then I'm going to arrange the leaves in numerical order. So you can see up at the top, okay, the first stem and leaf diagram, okay, 5, 9, 6, 8, 8, 6, 8, 6, 7, 7 is not in numerical order. But then I see the one at the bottom that is now put in numerical order. So I need to put in numerical order. Then I add a key and title. Now the key is just identifying, telling us 5/6 means 57. 5/7 is 50. 5/6 is 56. Now a key just represents you explaining what the stem and leaf diagram is talking about. So 5/6 is 56. 5/8 is 58. 6/0 is 60. So it's just basic definition key. Now to find the median in a stem and leaf diagram, just count half the total number of leaves, and if it's even, average the two middle leaves together. So we're just counting the total number of leaves. So let's try that. Okay, let's find the median of these test scores. Okay, so this is already set up for you. It's already in ascending order, and then we already have our key. So let's go ahead and pause this and find the median. So you're counting half of the numbers here. So there are a total of 15 scores. So we have 0 is 1, 2 is 2, 6 is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so we have a total of 15 scores, okay, or leaves. Okay, and half of them, okay, is going, we're going to get to, let's see here, half of them, so 1, 2, 3, half of it would be like 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that would be 8. 8, the number 8 is the 7th leaf. So the 8th leaf, not the number 8, but the 8th leaf, which is 90, is the median.